So if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you probably have seen this on there. I posted this little ND filter mod for the Caddx Turtle, and it's pretty simple. It's a actually really simple idea. It's just a little 3D printed part that I produced on Tinkercad, and I'll put a link to the I'll upload the STL2 Thingiverse, and you can download this. This is an ND filter for a Mavic 2 Zoom, I believe. And I think the Mavic 2 Pro is like a square rectangle one. And the reason it's so big is I did try the smaller one for the Mavic Pro. It's a little bit smaller than this one. But when you put this on here, you see this metal ring in the HD video because the field of view on this lens is so wide. So this happens to be the Caddx Turtle version 1, but with the upgraded Turbo Eye lens. This has the version 2 lens on it. So if you have a version 1 with a version 1 lens, that one's going to be smaller and this one's not going to work for you. And it's just a friction fit, and it doesn't come off. It actually sticks on pretty good. So if you have a version 1 or version 2 with the Turbo Eye lens here, it's 15 millimeters. This one is a little bit bigger than the original lens that came out for the Turtle version 1. And this little piece will work for you. And then you'll need this particular ND filter. This is a ND16 filter, so it'll work for fairly bright days. I think that after I've been looking at the footage, I'm probably going to have to get an ND32 if it's like completely sunny outside. I think an ND16 is probably not going to be enough, but this one seems to be fine. It's just I just basically measured the distance of the metal ring there to make this fit, and yeah, I'll just put the STL file down below. Now, for those of you guys that are wondering why the hell would you want to put an ND filter on your turtle, it's basically to get, I guess, more quote-unquote cinematic footage and your HD footage coming out of the camera. And it's a complicated topic. I'm not really an expert on that, so I would suggest going on YouTube and searching GoPro ND filter, and then you get a ton of hits on why people are doing that. That idea kind of came from people that are modding their GoPros to put ND filters on there to get, I guess, smoother footage from their camera, and basically cutting down the light that comes in to the camera produces a motion blur. And whereas if you don't do that on a really bright day, when you are freeze framing your footage, like so if you take a freeze frame of your footage flying around at 60 frames per second, the freeze frame looks like a photograph because it doesn't look like anything's moving. Whereas when you put an ND filter on your GoPro or action camera, it cuts down the light, and which adjusts the shutter speed because this is a fixed aperture camera. This lens doesn't have a adjustable aperture, so the camera will obviously compensate the exposure for the less light by reducing the shutter speed, and that produces this motion blur effect. So when you freeze frame the HD video, you get like a motion blur, like you're flying by something, and you'll notice that more if you're actually playing the video and you're flying around. For whatever reason, people think that is more pleasant to watch. I'm kind of like on the fence on that, whether I'm not really sure if I really agree or not with that, but that's what people seem to like. So I thought I'd give this little experiment a try to see if I can get more cinematic footage out of the Caddx Turtle. You could probably do something similar here for the Split Mini. Now, I know that the Split Mini V2 has a new lens now. It's an M12 lens. I haven't gotten that one yet. I'm supposed to be getting one of those soon, so I may do another mod for this one. With that one, I know that one also has a narrow field of view, so you could probably use a smaller ND filter like the one for the Mavic Pro, for example. The only reason I did the big one here is because I didn't want that metal ring to show up in the HD footage, so that's why this one is so big. And then of course the other problem is fitting this in your frame, because you put this on here, you can see it's pretty big, and yeah, getting this to fit your frame and everything could be a challenge. You might have this be sticking out somewhat, and of course the way I have it here, totally exposed, and if you have a really bad crash, obviously this thing is breaking, and these things aren't cheap, so you can check the link, you'll see what I mean. You could probably try and find some cheaper brands or whatever. For whatever reason, this glass here is not that cheap. It's kind of pricey, so you probably want to be putting this on something where you're going to be not flying too fast or recklessly, where you're going to be crashing or have some sort of additional protection for this. But yeah, pretty simple experiment. I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that the footage looks better than before? The same? I can definitely tell that there's motion blur now versus before there wasn't. But I don't know if that necessarily means that the footage looks better. So really interested in seeing what you guys see down below. And I'll go ahead and show you some sample footage I took.